Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. This is going to be freaking epic because for the first time, I'm able to show you the brand new Model 3 refresh. Tesla just recently gave a facelift to the Tesla Model 3. You guys know that we have driven them. I've owned a few of them. I still have one in the garage. And now for the first time, we're able to check out the Model 3 refresh here on our channel. So what I'm going to do in this video is take you on a full tour, show you all the changes, my impressions of them, and give you as much information as I possibly can. Let's go check it out here at the IAA in Munich. All right, guys, well, behind me finally is the Model 3 refresh. I think that's what we're going to go with calling it. The Highland was really the internal code name for this new Model 3, and the rumors had gone on forever. I remember it really got my dad excited that it was going to be a hatchback and all these things. I'm like, Dad, I don't think it's going to be a hatchback, and it's not. It's a very light facelift on the exterior styling of the Model 3. The biggest changes happening up front. I'll show you some more, but the car is more efficient. It has a much more premium interior and even a better sound system, little things like this. So they took, I would say, maybe the best value car on the planet and made it even better on initial glance, but we're gonna find out together. Now, I just have to preface this with saying in the US, the Model 3 is no question a car to buy. If you are just looking for a car to get from A to B, it's fast, it's very sporty, it's got great driver assistance, and most importantly, the price is insane. I just looked up in Colorado, you can buy a new Model 3 with incentives for roughly $23,000, $24,000. A brand new Tesla with LFP battery pack that you can full charge. It's amazing. And in the US, we don't know when we're gonna get this version yet, but you can be like my friend Colton, who runs the Out of Spec detailing channel. He just bought a new Model 3 Performance yesterday in the US. That's not a Highland, and he's happy with it. So I don't know for a lot of you if it's worth waiting for this car, but at least here in Europe, and I believe in China as well, the Shanghai built cars are now going to be the Highland, the refresh, the update, the new Model 3. And now it's our first time to explore it. So I think everyone kind of knows about this car, knows rough specs. Let's go check it out. First off, new color, ultra red in this particular one, seen on the 18-inch wheels. The 18-inch wheels seem to come on the Michelin tires. The 19-inch wheels come on Hankook tires. And it's over 640 kilometers of range WLTP in the long range version. And that's because the car is 5 to 7% more efficient is what we were just speaking with some Tesla spokespeople. They said about 5 to 7% more efficient in this one. I've heard 8 to 12 in other sources. They told me directly 5 to 7, but either way, it's more efficient with the same size battery, same drivetrain pretty much as the outgoing model. And to walk you through those drivetrain options, just so you know, there's a standard range rear wheel drive. This is the LFP battery pack, 60-ish kilowatt hours that you can get out of it. And of course, rear permanent magnet motor. And then in the all-wheel drive version, you have two motors, one front, one rear, and then a 82 kilowatt hour gross, maybe 78 usable, something like this. And that car is great. 250 kilowatt charging on the big one, huge range, great efficiency, and they've just made this car better. Before we get into the styling details, just sticking around up here, they've also completely redone the front suspension of this vehicle, so it should be even quieter. It should be a little bit better, more comfortable, and just soak up the bumps better. I wanted to see the geometry under there. I can't really poke my head up there. I can't wait to get one on a lift and compare them back to back. But completely new suspension, that seems like a great idea. Would have loved to see them add adaptive damper, because I think on Model S, this can really work some magic to the car and change the character. But factoring in the price of this car and the value and everything you get, truly, I think I truly believe this. I think this is the best car on the market when you factor in price and all the value that you get. Let's take a look at the styling up front. New headlight design here. By the way, no fog light in the bumper anymore. It's now built into the headlight. This bottom strip here is going to be your turn signal. So I can pop in and maybe we can show you that if someone hits it on the inside. But a much more flush designed front end. I don't know, if you come around here, Alyssa, and just get a good view of this front, I think it looks great. You know, in photos, I was a little bit concerned. I didn't think it looked maybe as good as the older car that had the headlights that came up here, but this looks awesome, and especially in this ultra red color. Normally, I'm not a red car guy. I think it's really great. One unfortunate miss, though, is they're still relying on Tesla Vision, of course, for the close proximity parking sensors. And so no ultrasonic sensors in here as expected. But in our experience, this doesn't really work so well. So, okay, hopefully they can improve this over time, but we just haven't seen much improvement with this camera-based close proximity detection yet. Top speed is limited to 201 kilometers per hour. So what's that, 125 roughly miles an hour, something like this? Is that a big deal? Probably not. It has to do with tire selection. Now, I believe it had to do with the tire on the Hankook, which was the 19-inch tire. Here on the 18s, it's running the standard Michelin tire, which I think can handle higher top speed, but both versions are limited to 200 kilometers per hour is my understanding. So, okay, maybe in Germany this is a problem, but everywhere else in the world, who really cares? No big deal. Hopefully the performance version will have, the full 168 miles an hour that they should be able to do in track mode and all of those things. This one is a Shanghai built car right here. The VIN starts with an L, actually just like my Polestar, built in China. You can see the cameras are matte black here on the outside, so very similar to the existing outgoing Model 3. You have to forgive some of the noise, it's really loud in here. Double pane glass was on the front of the old Model 3, and now in the rear, it's also double pane. And I think since no one's in the back of the car, I'm actually going to jump in the back seat right now and try it out. So let me just try it out, the back seat here. So we have double pane glass here, upgraded sound system now. I want to say 14, 17 speakers, pretty big subwoofers in the back as well, 2 different ones, which is always interesting to see. So that looks pretty cool. This new material, almost a little bit too much white here, I think, but it feels high quality, ambient lighting. Interesting that they would go for a blacked out trim on the outside and then this sort of brushed aluminum trim on the inside. You have your push to exit, and this is a physical button that you actually push now. Unlike the Plaid that has the pressure buttons, or I should say just Model S and X, this is a physical click and it moves and activates a switch. That feels really nice. Huge door pockets down here, traditional window switch. This is kind of nice. Actually, Alyssa, why don't you slide in here with me? And I'm not sure why this has happened, but what's interesting is the door thunk has become the international standard of build quality and testing. So I guess let me just close it really quick here. Okay, actually kind of rattled up here a little bit, this one. So maybe there is some real Tesla stuff going on here. Air vents in the back. I can adjust the airflow like this. This is all new and seems to work pretty good, actually. Yeah, really nice screen. What else can we do? No more heated middle seat in this one. Sorry. I can also adjust the... Yeah. So if you don't like the person, you can go into the dash. And then you have your, of course, heated seats back here, and you can turn them all off like that. I did not know you could adjust the passenger seat from back here. Okay.
That's going to be a child nightmare.
Oh gosh, I hope you can turn that off. Well, I'm sure you can. Okay, we have just the standard music app, and then you can watch YouTube and everything like this. So
Crazy, yeah.
this is really awesome. So if I come here, I can type in out. Hold on, where's the space of spec?
Yeah, that's cool.
We're in German. How come guide comes up before reviews? Out of spec. Here's our ID7 drive. Now we're watching out of spec in here. Okay, how do we exit? Great. Fantastic. So we also have seat pockets, but these are really plasticky almost, really firm, not much movement here. And you'll notice these bands are quite strong as well, but it's a really narrow area. And also it's not completely blocked in. So you can't like store small items in there. They'll fall out the side down there. You see that, Alyssa? So this is a really interesting, I would say almost not a great backseat pouch. I would have preferred if they just had a full, filled in area, which could have been better. Traditional coat hook back here. These lights, touch sensitive, and sort of looks like multiple LEDs in there. I wonder if you can push and hold to make them dimmer. Nope. So unlike a Volvo, you can't push and hold them. I wish it had a dark headliner. I really thought this was Tesla's opportunity to adjust the headliner in the car. Let's see the center armrest. If it does indeed fold down, it does. There's no button like the Model S. You just pull it down, really nice. Cup holders back here, totally new design. This is fantastic. Seat folding is the same, 60/40 it looks like, but really loving this. Looks great. Also, the other nice thing, it doesn't rest on the headrest here. You know, in the Model S, Alyssa, when we put the center down, it leaves a big impression in the center. This does not do that, so they thought of that. So, always pretty good. Okay, so back seats, perforated material. What do you think? Feels good?
Yeah, it's comfortable. It's a lot like the Model S.
Oh, this is
That's what it feels like.
It actually feels maybe even nicer than the Model S. You know, I'm surprised at how like premium everything is, considering, you know, Tesla's all about being minimalistic, but these stitching patterns in a standard car where they're going to be, you know, mass produced, this is really kind of a nice touch, a really high quality stitch, and you can tell like someone cared about this redesign. You know what I mean? The seats just feel nice, great headroom back here. The Model 3's always just been like a great car to sit in, and you know, now we're on the 4th generation of rear seat or something like this, and it feels awesome. Okay, so if you're getting an Uber, this should be better. By the way, acoustic glass on the roof panels and on the side. Everything is now acoustic glass, so much harder feeling, firmer glass when I hit this. All is good. And yeah, I'm really liking this ambient light strip. It's almost like Tesla went and looked at what are all the aftermarket accessories people put on their cars and then put it on from the factory. Just because these folks are over here in the front seat, we're doing a little inception in the video. Take a look, Alyssa. Let's run to the back now and take a look at the trunk. Okay, so now coming around to the back of the vehicle, if you come over here, Alyssa, you can take a look. Interesting, this one is the dual motor, but on 18-inch wheels. I think the ones that they had in Norway were the 19-inch wheels on display. So I thought this one would have been a rear-wheel drive, but no, it's still a big all-wheel drive. New taillight design, single piece here. And I have to say, Colton really didn't like this at all. Personally, I think it looks so much better than the outgoing model. It kind of tapers here to this inner touch. Actually, Volkswagen's starting to do this with ID.3. I think it's kind of a nice modern thing. And also by not having a split taillight, quality can improve, tolerances can improve, and probably, hopefully, water doesn't get in here, which was a big problem on the existing outgoing Model 3. Power trunk as before. Actually increased trunk size, only maybe 30 liters, something like this, but really deep pocket here on the right, deep pocket there on the left. Underfloor storage, also pretty deep. I mean, that, to me, it feels unchanged from the existing one.
Yeah, it seems pretty similar.
But look at the drivers here for the subwoofers in the back. And then also, what does this little tab do? I don't know. That might be the charge port release, emergency release, would be my guess. I don't know why else that would be there. Maybe prototype stuff? Because the seats fold down from inside, so it's not a seat folding. So my guess would be charge port. This one's a CCS2 equipped Tesla. This is kind of interesting. If you're walking around the side of the vehicle, I think you kind of have to be slightly careful of not getting hit with these things right here. So this is interesting. Also, I guess sort of an access port to get to the back. Adjustments back here for your trunk alignment, same as the existing car, so you can really dial it in. Power closed. The beep comes down. Nice. I really prefer this over the Tesla logo. Personally, I would pull off all the badging, kind of like I'm actually doing that with the Model S. I'm going to take the Tesla badge off, but really nice. Great shut lines as well. This has always been a problem on Model 3, just getting this dialed. And yeah, I know this is a show car at the big German auto show, so I'm sure Tesla really made sure it was dialed in. So we have to wait for a build quality analysis on a production one from Colton, but that'll be interesting. Couple things here. You'll notice that there's no area for reverse light in this taillight, and also when the taillights go up, you can no longer see the brake lights. However, come down here and you'll notice that these turn into the brake lights when the trunk is up, and this is very common on cars, and there'll also be the reverse light in this housing right here. So nothing unusual for the automotive industry. It will just transfer the brake light and turn signal down here when the trunk is up. My friend Andreas says that the car looks worse with the trunk is open. And I'm like, why do you care what the car looks like when the trunk is open? But he also said he really wants a Highland to upgrade his current car. So not a buying decision for him, judging the looks of the car when the trunk is open. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, car looks good. Camera looks good back here. No front camera on this one. I know that was a big question from a lot of people that were in the news speculating things around Tesla. But if you come over here to the front bumper, again, we're kind of moving around a little bit. You can see no front camera under here. Just to that was one thing I really wanted to show everyone. I'm going to try and open up the front trunk for you. So let me see if I can ask this guy to open it. Could you open the front trunk? If on the left side, if you just touch the hood of the car. Yep, just right there on the left. You don't even need to hit a menu. Yep, right there. Perfect. It should say open. Little front trunk. We're in the right area. Let's see. Yeah, that one. Thank you. All right, let's look inside the front trunk now. So, looks to be roughly the same. Still no mat in here. Tow hook is here. Interesting, they moved the washer fluid down here from up there. So maybe there's some reconfigurations under there. There also seems to be these new posts under the hood. What are these? Are they airbags? Is this like a hood strut situation for pedestrian or wind noise? I know that the back of the hood now sits slightly higher for aerodynamic efficiency increase. So that's really interesting. Okay, so nothing really crazy to report under here. Small changes that I don't really have the answers for you today at first glance, but of course we'll be testing it as soon as we can. You close it down here, we'll just do a double push on the outside, and they're nice and closed and gentle. Really nice latching action, actually almost a better latching action than I've experienced on other Model 3. Now we have the running lights on the car, also has the Matrix LED lights, which in the US are not so available. But again, the US is not the launch market for this car at all. What we're going to do is wait until we can get in the driver's seat. I'll take you on a tour of the inside. This I'm really looking forward to experiencing because one of my favorite things about the Model 3 is the seating position. The seats themselves are amazing in my car. I love the whole way I feel in the car, and I hope they haven't changed it because I actually think Model S, which is a newer car, the one that I drive, is way worse of a daily driver than my Model 3 based off of completely the seating position. So I hope they haven't messed up the seats. I hope they haven't messed up the position. And from what I hear, the seats should be a little bit wider. They're now ventilated. Lots of improvements here. So let's wait until we can have a seat inside the car, and then I'll have my first sit in the driver's seat of the refreshed Model 3. Is it okay? And now, for the first time, I'm able to sit inside of the Model 3.
The first time?
First time in the refresh.
Okay.
I drive a regular Model 3, the old one.
I know your channel.
Oh, thanks for watching. I appreciate that. So we have a viewer in the car with us.
Yes, yeah, I am.
Oh, great. Well, we are charged to 74% state of charge right now, 400 kilometers of rated range on the display. I can already tell you, I don't think the seat goes as low as the existing car. I mean, almost feel like I sit lower in my car. That could be because I have 130,000 miles of wearing the seat down. We'll do a little photo inside. And, overall, there's some interesting things. So let's start with the new steering wheel. It is similar diameter to the old Model 3 wheel. It's not as big as the Model S wheel, so I really like this one. If you click this camera button, it pulls up the back camera and the side cameras right there. Now, I imagine if I just have it on back camera, it will just pull up the back camera, but it remembers your last used setting. This is a really nice haptic feedback, way better than Model S haptic feedback. The horn is now in the center. We also have volume controls here on the left and right. These feel very similar to Model S, and actually maybe even a little bit nicer action than Model S in the latching. The turn signals, wow, way better than the Model S yoke or the round wheel. Really good haptic feedback. It almost truly feels like you're hitting a button, and yeah, the whole area that I'm touching is actually moving in and out, so you get some actual pushing action to actuate a button under here. I don't think it's just haptic. Maybe it is, but really good either way. That's impressive. Of course, this right stalk will control all your driver assistance. Pushing it left and right in the current Model 3 will adjust your following distance. In S and X, it actually doesn't. So I'm really curious as we go for a drive one day to see if this adjusts the following difference. But then if you, sorry, one second. Okay, never mind. We'll get back to it. But actually, so you'll have your speed up and down, and you'll be able to activate autopilot just by pushing this in. What I'm really curious about is the ventilated seat is on, and it feels great. I mean, the seat is cold right here. So that's awesome. Loving the new steering wheel. Loving the new stocks. I think this actually looks quite awkward in photos, but in person and feeling it, this is a nice wheel. Huge miss on the stocks though, I have to say. You can swipe on the screen here to go forward and back, and actually, unlike Model S where you get park, reverse, neutral, drive in the bottom, they now put it up here. So you have park, reverse, neutral, drive up here in the top next to your hazard lights, which is now a just sort of touch button. It's no longer a physical button that you can push in. And I actually think that's kind of a miss, if I'm honest. I really like having the physical button for the hazards. You get that action when you hit it. So unfortunately not the case here, but no stocks, big miss. Should have turn signals, should have stocks. Sorry to say it, but this is just, it's so nice getting in the car, hitting drive and going. Now you have to get in the car, make sure this is on the screen, find the spot, swipe up. And it's not a natural action to swipe up on the screen. It's actually one of the most annoying things about driving my Model S. So I really think there will be aftermarket companies to create stocks for this car. It shouldn't be a big problem. And I'm sure we're going to buy one of these things when they come in the US. I'm going to put stocks on it as soon as I can. Same with my Model S, actually. Okay, we have wireless phone chargers up here. Doesn't seem to be cooled. I really wish they had put some vents in here like the Porsche has. New Cayenne, for example, has cooled wireless phone chargers. Otherwise, it's just a wireless phone heater. And I think this felt material that Tesla uses back here doesn't actually help with the heat generated. So I really wish they had put some cooling in here. But the new center console, if you take a look here, feels really nice. Great tolerances, great design, really interesting material. It's sort of this almost, you can hear a little scratchy noise on it, but yeah, coming in, opening it up now, really deep center console with a 12 volt right up here. So there's a 12 volt outlet up front. It even goes even deeper. There's a little ledge above the 12 volt that I can go farther back, which is great. There's also no USB ports. Where the heck are they? What?
They are here.
Okay, so the USB-C ports they put in the center console.
Here.
No.
There was, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. They're really hidden. Are you sure? Oh yeah, there's just one in here, but only one.
One other guy find this.
Yeah.
Maybe there are other places.
Yeah, maybe because they're so small and unlit. I'm just trying to see if I can feel for them anyway. There's a little light in here. There's no more USB-C ports. Two back there, and they're 45 watts now, which is great. I think up from 15 or 20, something like this, but it's still not as good as Mercedes where they put 100 watt USB-C ports in their car. So a little bit disappointing there. In terms of the software, the screen they claim is brighter. Let's just test this. It's all the way brighter. Looks the same to me. Nicer bezel. And again, I think it looks lower in the cabin to me because I'm sitting higher in the car. I wish the seat would go to the floor like the other ones would. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Glove box opens up over here. It's a lot different of a glove box opening. And you can actually see there is the Tesla included dash cam USB that comes with the vehicle. So we'll leave that back in there for them. Magnetizes closed. How about that? So if I get it close, yeah, it's a magnetized, no latch. How about that? Really interesting. Nice material up here as well. I think Tesla said you can customize this piece, pop in a new one or a different one. Ambient lighting also has adjustments. How you actually get to them, I have no clue because everything's in German. But other outlets have shown you that, I'm sure, so it's not that big of a deal. Maybe we have to go to, oh my goodness, so many different options,
Yes.
and none of them are in English.
Yes.
Okay, so this one looks like a toy box. Here we go. Oh, that changes the color of the car. I don't know how you change. We had it up earlier. Do you know how we get to the
Yes.
ambient light adjustment?
Yes, I found it out.
Okay,
Under the Leuchtturm,
yeah.
and here we have
So we have auto. So what is these two words, off and on, means off, on?
on, automatic, off.
Okay, so you can turn the ambient lighting completely off.
Yes.
You can put it on or automatic, which maybe at night it dims would be my guess. And you can do an infinite color change. So for example, we've put it here to bright green. How about that? Yeah, wow, the cabin feels great. Everything feels awesome. The seat window switches are the same. I wish we could test the sound system, but they actually have it disabled in this car right
No,
now.
no, no, no. The sound
Yeah.
is working.
Okay,
We tried. I tried it.
yeah. Okay, we can't play for too long because of YouTube, so we'll have to turn it. Yeah. Okay, but I think that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then something in here.
Oh, yeah, you have something in here now, but this one's okay for YouTube? No, I don't think we can play it on YouTube, sadly. All right, we'll wait until after. Yeah, but I think if it's another creator, then it will hurt us there.
You can change this seat position from the backyard.
Yeah, yeah.
Very great.
Yeah, and Alyssa, actually, there's a little vent or a microphone or something up in here if you show the camera right in the top. I don't know what this...
I think the loudspeaker.
Yeah, it could be a speaker in the center there. That's really interesting. Also, new tinted glass, different tint than what I've seen on other Model 3s. Looks great. Almost a lot more blue in the tint than before. Mirror looks good. All of these look the same, more or less, so they can come over, they slide back. That's great. Yeah, this is just a wrapping, plastic wrapping, because the car is new. You know, it hasn't been completely peeled like this situation here. We'll keep it on there, but always fun. Okay, so the interior feels way more high quality. The seats are wide, the backrest is great. The bottom portion is not nearly as aggressive as the old seat, and actually I think the material feels like it might wear worse than the outgoing white material in the Model 3. Just because those seats are a little bit thicker and they really hold up to everything. I'm not totally convinced of this in this car. We'll have to see over time, because the seats in my Model S are doing worse than my old Model 3 are. Yeah, wow, all good here. Pedals feel nice. Steering wheel feels great. Screen looks good.
When does the choke coming? What do you think?
When is what coming?
The choke.
Oh, never, I hope.
Never.
Never.
I would.
Why do you want a yoke?
I want a yoke.
No. Why do you want a
in the
yoke?
Model S.
Yeah, but I took it off my Model S.
Everybody who gets in
Yeah.
should see this car is coming from outside the Earth.
Yeah, it's coming from Mars.
Yes, and you see it on the steering wheel.
Yeah, sure. So we'll turn this off for audio. You can see the cameras here in the center when you adjust them are coming. You can also change the position. This is all pretty standard stuff from the outgoing car. Route planning, all of the good, Tesla best superchargers in the business. You can see superchargers are just absolutely everywhere, no matter where you go. You charge up fast, it's reasonably priced, it's all good. So that's that. Let's put the hazards on. I want to check the turn signals in the back. I feel like we've really taken our time in this car. So let's not piss anyone off too much more. Let's go to the back, look at the signals. Sorry for taking so long, I apologize. And then let's close the trunk, Alyssa, if you don't mind. And we should see the amber turn signals. Now, what I'm not 100% sure is if we'll get the amber signals in the US or if we'll get red signals when it comes to our market. There's always some differences between the trims. And actually, I think even a difference between Model Y long range and performance have different signals there. But there you have it. This car looks great. Because it's a little quiet now, what do you say we get a thumbnail for YouTube? We'll just finalize. I'll give you a very concise list of every update that we know about here at the end of the video. I'll just make a list. And then there you go, my first look at the Model 3 refresh. I'll give you my final thoughts here in a few minutes. I figured I would show you guys the rest of the booth with the Model 3 over here, just while we're here. Alyssa's about to play some games on the new model. Actually, these are the old Model 3 screens, I think. Really cool displays here, how Tesla is getting into it. It's also the first time I'm able to bring to you a version 4 dispenser on this channel. So you can see the immersion cooled cable, much longer than version 3. Chargers, nice cable, a little bit thicker, but again, these are going to be designed to handle a lot of current. Take a look at this. First time we've seen the screen on as well. So you can see this. Is it touchscreen? No, actually, this is just a sticker. That's kind of funny. And then you have a Tesla logo with the light up thing. I'm fairly certain that is just a open to all electric vehicles. Check this out. Great stuff. I'm fairly certain that this is where you would tap your card for payment. Let's take a look at the handle. Wow, this is great. Just to show everyone the length that I can pull this out. Look at the distance here. Really, really great. So you can get to charge ports everywhere on different vehicles. really girthy handle, but still manageable and easy to use. This is going to be a little bit stiffer in the winter time than a traditional version 3 charger, and actually the cable feels, maybe just because it's longer, maybe a bit stiffer than even a version 2 supercharger. But I'm just loving the way Tesla's doing their handles. They still have the charge port door open and the stop charging signal right there. This is great to see, but again, we still have not seen any version 4 charger. We have not seen any chargers, only dispensers hooked up to version 3 cabinets at this time. And yeah, I'll go make a video. I think we have to go to the Netherlands to try one because in Berlin it's not quite open. We were over there the other day just looking for any sort of label on this, but at least for the one that's on display, doesn't seem to be here. But this is a product I'm so excited about. The height is great. It's actually backlit in here. It's actually a totally different chassis than the charger that we saw for the Mega Charger when we were over just west of Las Vegas in Baker when we filmed the Mega Charger. And here we have just a Tesla Powerwall. We're very familiar with this product. You have the Optimus robot here. I love it, wearing the Texas belt. That is so funny. This is cool to see. I don't actually know much about this product. You guys know I review cars, not necessarily companies or tangent products, if you will. So this is definitely neat, but I still think it's quite early days for this product. But my understanding is a lot of in-house sourcing of products, a lot of in-house technology. They really are working on all these little micro motors and adjustments for everything. So it's great to see this Optimus robot in person. I'm not a robotics expert at all, but it's kind of cool to be able to check it out for sure. And then here we just have a standard Quicksilver Model Y Performance. And we've seen this car, of course, a bunch. This one, probably a Berlin built car would be my guess. And yeah, everything looks good. When will Model Y get the refresh? That is the next big question. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the Model Y would look great with the updates of Model 3. And already just coming to this taillight, seeing this big gap in between the two, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish this was one piece that raised all the way up. It would almost make more sense. So I love the updates they've done to Model 3. Let's end this video and I'll share again a list of just all the comprehensive updates that we know about for Model 3 refresh. And then we got to get this video on YouTube as soon as possible from here at the Tesla booth in Munich. Okay. Well, guys, there you go. My first impressions of the new Model 3 refresh. And I have to say, I think the car is substantially better than the outgoing model. And European pricing, it depends on each market, is only about $1,000 more than the outgoing Model 3. So let's just say roughly the same cost for ventilated seats, brighter screen, better sound performance on the inside, way nicer materials, more comfortable backseat, that screen back there, the new design. You get so much for the money, and the car's value was already insane. So anyway, I just want to clarify one item. The car's rated the long range on 18-inch wheels for 629 kilometers WLTP. You can't convert that to miles and say that's what it's going to do the EPA cycle. I've seen so many Tesla fan accounts on Twitter saying, it's got 400 something miles of range. It doesn't in the EPA cycle. So we don't know what it'll be rated in our market. WLTP is very much lower speed than EPA on average. And there's multiple EPA cycles that automakers can choose to rate their cars with, which I also think is just crazy. We need one. I hope we can make our own drive cycle one day. This would be amazing, but we'll run it in the 70 mile per hour range test as soon as possible in the US and maybe even here one day. There's two new colors, of course, the Ultra Red and Stealth Gray. Stealth Gray looks the same as Midnight Silver in the photos that I've seen. Maybe it's slightly different. The wheel design is different, especially on the 19-inch wheels, the sport wheels, a little bit more aero, things like that. So that's interesting. 17 speaker sound system. I know in the video I was saying 14 or 17. It's 17 speakers and it has dual amplifiers. So that should be cool. We listened to the sound system, but the car's sound system was limited a little bit just for the show. But it sounded really good from what we heard. And Model 3 already had a kick-ass sound system. So that's great. Ventilated seats got cold. Some of my friends who sat in the car said they may have felt a little vibration from the ventilated seats. And also, we were discussing the seat is slightly higher than the outgoing one. They both own current generation Model 3s, but we think maybe they had to make room for the ventilation intake on the seat. And so maybe that's an okay compromise. Probably one I'd be willing to go with right there. Upgraded microphones in the car, so your Bluetooth phone calls are better. A quieter cabin, of course, and so many other little changes to design, exterior and interior. The interior is really the big one. They've managed to make the interior feel very premium, but also very Spartan.
It's, I think, the perfect balance. It's everything you need and nothing you don't on the inside of this car. And truly, if you're just looking for a car, why would you buy anything else? I mean, I hate to be so blatant about it, but unless you have something against Tesla or you really love another automaker, you're just looking for the standard car. If aliens came down from another planet and we had to show them what a car is, it would be that one right there. Absolutely the benchmark in the industry right now. New Tesla Model 3. Tesla has killed it with the update. We got to run and get this video on YouTube right away. I can't wait to drive the car soon. We'll see you in another video soon. Bye-bye.